Hello there, welcome to Story Time. My name is Lee and I am a librarian at the community library. I work in the children's section and we are doing story time from my house still. So welcome to my office, and this week we are going to read about shoes. And this was the book that got me started on this. It's called One Shoe, Two Shoes, and it's by somebody who wrote Caryl Hart. And that Caryl wrote this book also, Big Box, Little Box, which is one of my favorite books. And it's sort of got the same characters, sort of same animals and mouse throughout the book. So these are at the library and come check them out. But shoes are going to be our theme this week. Ooh, itchy nose. So let's get started. So it's illustrated by Edward Underwood and it is from Bloomsbury Publishers. See the little mice in the shoes? Aren't they cute? One shoe. Two shoes. Red shoes, blue shoes. Old shoes, new shoes. On the way to school shoes. Long laces tied in knots. Green pumps with yellow spots. Party shoes. Artsy shoes. Cowboy boots. Flip-flops. Two shoes make a pair. Who's that hiding there? What do you see? What is that? Little mouse one, little mouse two. They've made a house in someone's shoe. A shoe for a house for a mouse. Mouses, houses, red and blue. Slippers on the bedroom floor. Here's little mouse, 3, and little mouse, 4. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at all those mice. Look at that little nose down there. 10 little white mice, all in a line. Should we count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Scritchy, scratchy, who goes there? Pitter, patter, sniff, lick, scatter. Look at all those mice. Doggy stretch, good boy fetch. Bounce away. Time to play. Hooray! Look at those crazy mice. Should we count them again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The end. All right. I know, isn't that a good book? I like those little mice. I think they're pretty cute. All right. So the next book that we are going to read is called Juno, Valentine, and the Magic Shoes, written by Chen, illustrated by Derek Desierto, and it is from Fywell and Friends Publishers. It was just another Monday morning, and like most Monday mornings, Juno Valentine was late for school. This time, though, it was absolutely not her fault. Her favorite shoes had vanished. Juno's favorite shoes weren't particularly special. They didn't light up, they didn't have wheels. Compared to her friend's shoes, they were pretty boring, actually. Look at her shoes. But they were her favorite running, hopping, skipping, muddy puddle jumping shoes. Suddenly, Juno saw something twinkling at her from the darkest, dustiest depths of her closet. Oh my gosh, look at that. She's falling through her closet. It was a cornucopia of shoes, a feast of fashion, shoes everywhere, just waiting to be tried on. Look at that magic place she fell to. Hello, Cleopatra. See what her shoes look like. Do you see them? Hello, Frida. Hola, Frida, excuse me. You know, thought Juno, it would really be a shame not to try on all the shoes. She's being Frida Kahlo, who's a famous artist. Let's see all the shoes that she steps into. Juno stepped into the shoes of Queen Elizabeth I, Anna Wintour, Jane Goodall, Yayoi Kusama, Oprah Winfrey, Gloria Steinem, Lady Gaga, Marie Curie. Cinderella's shoes weren't made for walking or skipping or anything fun for that matter. She's stepping into a bunch of famous people's shoes. But Serena's sneakers definitely were. Game, set, match. Victory was hers in Serena's shoes. Juno, it's almost time for school. Juno felt major in Sally's moon boots, but she could hear her mom calling for her. Just one more pair, Mom. Once Juno started twirling in Misty's ballet slippers, she couldn't stop. Can't stop, won't stop twirling, 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 twirling. Splat. I wouldn't have gone splat in my old shoes, thought Juno. There they are, hooray! Juno could finally go home, but after she'd been to the moon and back, she had to admit her old shoes seemed the teeniest bit boring. Why not, thought Juno, add a little magic to my own shoes? A splash of Frida's color, a smidge of Misty's grace, a dash of Gaga's sparkle, and a heaping dollop of Serena's grit. Now her shoes were the most unboring shoes Juno had ever seen. Juno was home, and she was just in time. Now she's off to school. And I like this book because at the end, they have all the different shoes that she tried on, and they talk about all of the women who wore those shoes and what they've done. They're famous women in history. So Juno Valentine and the magical shoes. All right. So let's do this book next, and this is called Dog in Boots. And this is from Holiday House Publishers, and it's by Greg Gormley, and it's illustrated by Roberta Angaramaro. Every once in a while, I find a book in the library that I've never read before that I really like. And this is one of those books. I had never read it before, and I really like this book a lot. I hope you do too. Dog was reading a brilliant book all about a cat who wore a pair of truly magnificent boots. When he finished reading, Dog put down his book and thought a little bit. Then he went to the local shoe shop. He's reading about Puss in Boots. "Have you got any footwear as splendid as this?" he asked, showing the book to the shopkeeper. "I believe we have," said the shopkeeper, and brought out 4 just as splendid boots, one for each of Dog's paws. "Bow wow," said Dog. "I'll take them." Dog was so pleased that he went straight home. To dig up his very best bone. But the new boots were not at all splendid or magnificent for digging, and they got so muddy that they looked quite awful. So Dog took them back to the shop. "Have you got some that are better for digging?" he asked. "I have just the thing," said the shopkeeper. "These rain boots are perfect in mud. It simply washes right off. The rain boots were wonderful for digging." But when Dog went for a swim in the pond, they filled up with water and he sank with a plop. Dog took them back to the shop. "Have you got some that are better for swimming?" he asked. "The best thing for swimming," the shopkeeper said, "are flippers." The flippers were fantastic for swimming. But when Dog tried to scratch, they flip-flap-flopped around his head in a very unsatisfying way. Dog took them back to the shop. "Have you got some that are better for scratching?" he said. "I'm glad you asked," said the shopkeeper. "With these high heels, you can scratch and look rather fashionable at the same time." For scratching behind Dog's ears, the high heels were simply divine. Unfortunately, they were dreadful to run in. He went flying head over high heels. Dog took them back to the shop. "Have you got some that are a bit faster?" he said. "Oh, yes," said the shopkeeper. "If you want to go super fast, try skis. They go very fast indeed." "I'll take them," said Dog, and he was gone before the shopkeeper could say, "But only on snow." Without any snow, Dog's skis didn't move at all. He couldn't run, or scratch, or swim, or dig. On his way back to the shop, Dog thought some more. "Okay," he said to the shopkeeper, "I want something that's good for digging and swimming and scratching and running." "Oh, nice and furry too. Do you have anything like that?" "No," said the shopkeeper, "but you do. They're called paws." "Perfect," said Dog. Dog was so pleased with his nice, furry, practical paws that he scratched all the fleas from his coat, ran after his tail, swam around and around in the Queen's Lake until she told him to hightail it out of there, and dug a big hole to rebury his very best bone. Finally, Dog went home and picked out another brilliant book to read. This time it was about a girl who didn't wear any silly boots, but did wear a lovely red hood. Thought Dog. I think he's going to want a cape now, a little Red Riding cape. And that is our third book about shoes. And we've got one more, and It is called Centipedes 100 Shoes by Tony Ross. And this is from Harry Holt Publishing. All right, let's read about Centipede. Ow! The little centipede was not looking where he was going, and he hurt his toe. But which one? Not this one or this one. Mom will know. I'll kiss it better, said Mom. Is it this one or 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 this one? Too many toes. At last, Mom found the hurt toe and kissed it better. Tomorrow, you must get some shoes, she said. Early the next morning, the little centipede's mom took him to the shoe store. "100 shoes, please," said the little centipede. 50 left ones and 50 right ones. "Why do you want 100? asked the shoe seller. "Because I'm a centipede, which means 100 feet, said the little centipede. It's a lot of feet. "Do you want lace-ups or buckles? asked the shoe seller. "Lace-ups, please," said the little centipede. "Lace-ups are more grown up." So the little centipede tried on the shoes until he found ones that he liked, and the shoe salesman wrapped them up. Look at all of those shoes. The next day, the little centipede put on his shoes. It took a long time. Then he had to tie up all the laces, and when at last he had finished, he had 58 shoes left over. "That's because most centipedes only have 42 legs, said his granddad. Who knew? 42 legs, not 100. That's some good information. So he finally got all of his shoes on, and then it was bedtime, and time to start taking the shoes off again. The next morning, the little centipede put on his shoes again. This time he was quicker, and he was better at tying the laces. So after lunch, he went for a walk. "Oh, Mom," he cried, "my new shoes hurt." "That's because you have no socks on," said his mother, and the little centipede started to take off his shoes again. And his aunties all began to knit socks. The next morning, the little centipede put on all his socks. He had his lunch, and then he started to put on his shoes. Boy, that takes a long time. Right after supper, he went for a walk. "My feet feel fine now, Mom," he said. "Time for bed," said his mother. So the little centipede took off his shoes and tumbled into bed. "You can't go to sleep with your socks on," said his mother. So he took off his socks as well. The next morning, the little centipede looked at all the shoes and socks. "Oh, I don't think I'll bother." So he put his 100 shoes and his 42 socks into his little wheelbarrow. And gave them all to his friends with fewer legs. He gave shoes to 5 spiders, 4 beetles, 2 woodlice, and a grasshopper, with socks for the 5 spiders. And with enough shoes and socks left, for 2 worms. And that one worm saying to the other one, "What a pair." And that's the end. That's a silly story, isn't it? Ooh, look, it's a praying mantis making shoes on the back. Do you see that? Oh my gosh. Well, those are our shoe books for this week. And I hope that you have fun with your shoes. Hope you wear some fun shoes. I do not have fun shoes on today. I have flip-flops on today because it's kind of warm. But I wanted to show you the craft. So this is the craft. If you come by the library, you will get one of these, and then you can color it like I colored mine. And you get a shoelace, and you get to lace up your shoes. Let me show you. If I can do this. So it comes through, and then you can go like that. And you get to lace up a pair of shoes and color a pair of shoes. I'd love to see your crazy shoes that you make. Please feel free to send me some pictures. It's always fun to see what you guys do. And there we go. Isn't that fun? So, shoes are our theme this week. I hope you enjoyed the books, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stop by the library with your mask, and we'd love to see you. Bye.